iPhone 16 will be criticized for this. Apple's continued use of old technology for the iPhone 16 and no significant technical improvements for the screen have caused the company to receive a lot of criticism from users. Recently, Apple introduced 4 new iPhone models, including the iPhone 16 and 16 Plus, attracting attention with a series of significant upgrades compared to their predecessors. However, these 2 phone models immediately became the focus of criticism. The reason is that Apple decided not to have any improvements in the screen on the iPhone 16 compared to its predecessor. From the screen size of 6.1 inches for the iPhone 16 and 6.7 inches for the Plus version, to the important technical specifications, there is no change. In terms of screen, the iPhone 16 and 16 Plus are identical to the iPhone 15 and 15 Plus. According to PCMag, a reputable technology news site, pointed out that while the smartphone market is witnessing an explosion of new display technologies, Apple is slow in this race. Typically, today's high-end phones, not only the iPhone 16 Pro, but also the Google Pixel 9 Pro and Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra, have applied dynamic refresh rates (DRR) technology. This is a feature that allows the screen to change the scanning frequency flexibly depending on the displayed content and user activities. When viewing static content, the screen's refresh rate can be reduced to save energy. On the contrary, in situations that require high performance such as playing games or surfing the web quickly, the refresh rate will increase, creating a smoother and more impressive experience. In fact, even smartphones in the mid-range price segment, with prices ranging from $300–500 like the Google Pixel 8a, are equipped with DRR screens. In addition, some low-cost phones priced at only about $200, such as the Samsung Galaxy A15 5G and Motorola Moto G 5G, also have screens with refresh rates of up to 90 Hz and 120 Hz. Notably, Apple has equipped promotion technology, which is a version of DRR, for the iPhone Pro line. Both the iPhone 16 Pro and Pro Max have screens that can adjust the refresh rate from 1 Hz to 120 Hz. However, users do not see this technology appearing on the iPhone 16 and 16 Plus. Many users have raised questions and felt disappointed about Apple's decision, because when the market has gradually considered DRR screens as a new standard, it is difficult to understand why Apple still sticks to 60 Hz screens for its 2 basic phone models. As PCMag noted, Apple's failure to update its standard iPhone display technology puts the company at risk of setting a lower bar than its competitors, while missing out on an opportunity to offer customers better experiences at more competitive prices. iPhone 16 won't have 120 Hz promotion display. According to rumors, the next standard iPhone, the iPhone 16, won't ship with a 120 Hz display. 2024 marks 5 years since high refresh rate displays became mainstream and 3 years after the first iPhone 13 Pro, had a 120 Hz display. This means that the 2023 iPhone 15 and 2024 iPhone 16 will compete with phones like the Galaxy S24, Galaxy S25, Pixel 8, and Pixel 9 with 60 Hz displays in 2024 and 2025. And while high refresh rate displays on high-end phones are now the norm, what's even more worrying is that mid-range phones are already supporting high refresh rates, surpassing the expensive iPhone 15. So what's the reason? It's because Apple sees promotion as a Pro feature of the iPhone. Most people who already have a Pro iPhone model will upgrade to another Pro iPhone. Many Apple users buy the iPhone Pro, iPad Pro, and MacBook Pro because they want the best in class, even if they don't really need it. After trying out the nicer iPhone Pros, iFans are more likely to stay with the Pro line rather than downgrade to a standard iPhone, iPad, or MacBook Air. For example, if you already have an iPhone 13 Pro with promotion, you'll want to upgrade to an iPhone 15 Pro rather than an iPhone 15. This upgrade dynamic also holds true for regular Apple users who are hooked on the iPad Pro and MacBook Pro even if they don't need all the power and features of a Pro. On the other hand, an iPhone 13 user would consider upgrading to an iPhone 15 Pro if they wanted the promotion experience. In the tech space, fans certainly don't want to miss out on the latest features. Of course, those who already own an Android phone with a 120Hz display are a different story. Android phones benefit more than iPhones. In fact, iPhones with 60Hz displays have never felt slow or laggy. The same cannot be said for Android phones with 60Hz displays. Android phones have historically been noticeably slower than iPhones. Both have 60Hz displays. On the other hand, going back to the iPhone 13 from the iPhone 15 Pro Max also has a noticeable difference in smoothness. Animations and transitions on iOS are incredibly smooth on 60Hz. Plus, Android phones tend to be more animated than iOS, which is another reason why they benefit more from HRR displays than iPhones. If the iPhone 15 Pro, Galaxy S23 Ultra, and Pixel 8 Pro return to 60Hz displays, like they used to, the iPhone will still be the smoothest 60Hz phone on the market. When will all iPhones get promotion? Now, display analyst Ross Young says the iPhone 17, expected in 2026, will be the first standard iPhone to feature a 120Hz promotion display. This means the Cupertino-based company could be preparing something more special for the iPhone 17 Pro line, such as under-screen Face ID or a new design. This upgrade would allow the professional promotion feature to be pushed down to the more affordable iPhone 17, iPhone 17 Plus. The most prominent feature of the iPhone 16 is criticized as useless. Apple has always been known for creating groundbreaking features on its products. But with the iPhone 16, they seem to have met with mixed reactions, of which, the most prominent feature, the camera control button, is being heavily criticized by both the technology industry and users. Apple has integrated the camera control button into the right edge of the iPhone 16, allowing users to quickly take photos and record videos. In addition, this pressure-sensitive button also allows changing camera settings with just a swipe of the finger. It is worth mentioning that Apple has included artificial intelligence, AI, technology called visual intelligence, to help users recognize and search for information from objects in the photo. At first glance, this feature seems impressive and convenient. However, reality shows a different story. Experts and users both feel that this camera control button does not bring the convenience that Apple promises. After experiencing the iPhone 16, many major technology sites such as CNET and The Verge have negative reviews about the camera control button. Patrick Holland of CNET frankly commented that this button is placed in a position that makes it difficult to use with one hand, especially when holding the phone vertically. This makes using the button inconvenient and even leads to confusing operations. Phone Arena also called this the most un-Apple thing ever, implying that Apple has gone against its inherent philosophy of simplicity and ease of use. Even ordinary users are not very excited about this feature. Some people shared that they only used the camera control button when they first unboxed the iPhone and quickly forgot about it during daily use. Many people even found it much easier to change settings on the traditional camera application screen than using the new control button. Not only was the iPhone 16 criticized by the tech world, but it also showed worrying signs in sales. According to analyst Ming-Chi Kuo, Apple sold 37 million iPhone 16s in the first week, down more than 12% compared to its predecessor. The decline was even more noticeable in the Pro versions, with the iPhone 16 Pro and Pro Max down 27% and 16%, respectively. The reason for this decline may stem from the fact that users do not find the new features, including the camera control button, really useful or groundbreaking. In addition, Apple has not yet integrated many powerful AI features into the iPhone 16 series, leaving users with little reason to upgrade from previous versions. Faced with criticism and declining sales, Apple will have to reconsider its product strategy. Introducing new features is always a double-edged sword. On the one hand, it can create differentiation and enhance the user experience. But if the feature doesn't really deliver value, it could undermine consumer confidence. As Apple continues its product launch cycle, will it learn from the mistakes of the iPhone 16? Or will the camera control button become a costly lesson in chasing features that users don't really need? Will the iPhone 16's charging speed really reach the expected 45 W? Some information suggests that the iPhone 16 will charge at up to 45W. But real-world testing has shown otherwise. According to information from MacRumors, the filing with Chinese regulators shows that all iPhone 16 models are rated for charging at up to 45W. However, recent testing has shown that the actual charging speed of these devices does not reach that level. Last week, Charger Lab tested the iPhone 16 Pro Max with a variety of chargers. Both Apple and third-party, the results showed that the device only reached a maximum continuous charging speed of around 30W. In some cases, the iPhone 16 Pro Max was able to reach a maximum charging speed of 37W when using Apple's 140W USB-C power adapter. But it's unclear how long the device could maintain this speed. While this is an improvement over the 27W maximum charging speed of the iPhone 15 Pro models, it's clear that the iPhone 16 doesn't reach the previously announced 45W charging speed. Phone Arena also recorded similar results with the standard iPhone 16. In a recent review, the tech site said that the iPhone 16 only reached a maximum charging speed of 38W when under heavy loads such as benchmarking or gaming, while the continuous charging speed was closer to 20W. Apple only announced that all iPhone 16 models can charge up to 50% in about 30 minutes with a 20W or higher USB-C charger, which was also advertised for the previous iPhone 15 models. In short, although all iPhone 16 models support the USB-C Power Delivery 3.0 protocol, 15V, 3A equals 45W, the devices do not actually reach this charging speed. This suggests that there may have been a misunderstanding about the higher charging speed. However, some improvements in charging speed are still noted in certain cases. The iPhone mini is suitable for many people. Most people prefer larger phones. They want larger screens, larger batteries, and more space inside the device for better cameras and other components. This preference is evident in shopping trends. But not everyone is the same. Many people really like the iPhone 12 mini, because it's easy to use with one hand and can be put in a pocket without leaving a big mark on their pants. The size also feels more casual and discreet than larger products housed in a metal block. The thing is, for people who don't use their iPhones too much for tasks like videos, social media, or other distractions, that lack of space isn't such a bad thing because it encourages users to not scroll mindlessly on their phone and instead find a book to read, play games, or do other things. At the same time, those are people who don't care too much about battery life because they don't use their phones too much and can charge their phones whenever they feel a little low. Even if you travel a lot, using a MagSafe charger can keep the battery full while traveling. While it would be nice to have the triple lens setup of a higher-end iPhone Pro, the iPhone mini models actually have wide and ultra-wide cameras that are adequate. The photos are high enough quality to capture and review moments in life. It's hard to see an iPhone 16 mini coming. Sadly, even though many people love the iPhone mini form factor, Apple has turned its back on it, saying that there aren't enough units to make the iPhone mini come back. After seeing poor sales of the iPhone 12 mini and iPhone 13 mini, Apple has discontinued the iPhone mini, likely forever. The iPhone 14 and 15 lineups both offer standard and max iPhone sizes, with no smaller options. This looks like it will continue with the iPhone 16 lineup. Apple is even planning to kill off the relatively new iPhone Plus line in favor of the iPhone Slim when it launches the iPhone 17 next year. Clearly, there simply isn't enough consumer interest to make a smaller iPhone worthwhile for Apple, especially given that the lower price point of the product means Apple's margins aren't quite where they'd like them to be. As a result, excitement for the iPhone 16 will be low. The good news for users who prefer a compact iPhone at an attractive price is the arrival of the next generation iPhone SE. While it will likely retain the 6.1-inch size of the current regular iPhone, its lower price and more premium features could entice users to buy it. Either way, the iPhone 12 mini or iPhone 13 mini are getting old, and upgrading to the iPhone SE 4 when it launches could be a much better deal than the iPhone 16, which is in a much more expensive segment. iPhone 16. A basic but powerful choice. The standard iPhone 16 is powered by the A18 chip, which promises to deliver superior performance. The Super Retina XDR display and HDR video playback capabilities create a vivid visual experience. Reviews show that the dual camera system, wide and ultra-wide, meets the needs of daily photography. While the battery life is also the first error on the iPhone 16 Pro. Many iPhone 16 Pro and 16 Pro Max users said that the device had a response error when operating on the touchscreen. It's quite annoying to use the iPhone 16 Pro Max because the touch is sometimes working, sometimes not, slow to respond, especially when holding it with one hand, wrote the account Yoon Tech on X. I also encountered a similar situation. Texting is also difficult because the text jumps around randomly. Only when I put the phone down on the table and use one finger to operate, the touch returns to normal, commented the account Travis. According to MacRumors, more and more users of the two iPhone 16 Pro models are complaining about touch errors. Most said that the response on the screen is slow, and touch and swipe operations sometimes have problems. This phenomenon has not been recorded on the regular iPhone 16 and does not occur when the device is in screen lock mode, suggesting that this may be a software problem, not a hardware problem. Some later discovered that the cause lies in the camera control button. If you accidentally touch the area next to the camera control button, the entire screen will become unresponsive until you release it. This is the only area that causes the problem, wrote the account known _tap_1462 on Reddit. While drawing the area where you should not touch, a temporary solution is to avoid that area or use your left hand more. According to researcher Chaos TN on the Mastodon blog, the multi-touch on the new iPhone Pro screen is having problems. When you touch a point on the screen, the phone's software will ignore all new touches for a short period of time. 9to5Mac said that the iPhone 16 Pro has thinner bezels than the previous generation, making it easier for users to accidentally touch the edges of the screen. Just a small part of the skin touching it can activate the touch function and reject the touch elsewhere. From there, the device falls into a state of touch disorder, the site wrote, claiming that Apple will soon fix it with an update due to a software-related error. Apple has not commented. If it were you, would you decide to own this iPhone 16?